Good night. My name is Diana. I am 29 years old. I live in Agustín Codazzi, Cesar. Spanish se mentioned that I know in the video. At the beginning of the video, a girl greets, introduces herself, says her name is Keisha, and welcomes us to offer online English. She says in this lesson I will be able to learn how to improve my listening. After that, a boy says that I will use to improve their listening. The girl says that she will ask me about 4 different scenarios in which I will listen to English. Then between the two begin to explain each of them, noticing that in every single one, it shows a particular situation that can occur at any time of or life, and that I must learn to interpret it. In the same way, they also say that each of the circumstances is going to depend on my experience. They comment that many English learners are stressed by not understanding, and that this does not help them to develop their listening skills. Being stressed can make even more difficult to understand English. They also say that to understand another foreign language, 100% of the brain power is needed. Worries and thoughts such as I don't understand. Try to understand correctly what you listening. If not, it's not the end, it's the of the world. Relaxing and focusing 100% on what you are hearing. Listen to an audio in Portuguese, in which you had to show if you knew some word. But if not, then there is no need to stress out. In the same way, explains that if I do not understand English, I do not have to stress out because being relaxed and focused makes it easier to understand what is heard. When you are listening to English, you have to listen. You should not do anything else. You should not try to translate things. You should not worry about the words that you do not know. You should know things about things that were not heard. You should only care about listening. In the same way, they explain that understanding does not only depend on listening. There are of the voice and facial expressions will help to understand what it means. In the same way, it will help understand the situation where we found ourselves, and it will become easier to understand it since we can have an idea of what he is saying and what words he is using. They also explain that it's important to relate the context in which we are. Since there are words that are common and we can identify if what they are saying is correct or not. Ideally, when you are listening English, you should use everything you can to be able to understand it. Finally, they pointed the four situations they talked about at the beginning of the video. Each one kept the easiest or the most difficult. They say that the solution is very simple. You should listen to as many different accents as possible. You should not limit yourselves because if you only listen to one type of accent, you will be good only by understanding particular type. You must listen to the accent from by understanding the north, south, east, north of the country. Similarly to Scottish, Welsh, and Irish accents, men, women, and children should be heard too. Americans, Australians, Canadians, and South Africans should be listened to. Also, the Indian, Chinese, Austrian, or Belgian accent, and not only you should listen to different accents, you should listen to as many different formats or sources as possible too. Then you have to listen to songs, TV shows, movies, audiobooks, and anything else you can find. At the beginning of the video, they told about some situations, name of leads to of those situations. First, you are listening to a teacher speaking British English, speaking slowly and clearly. Easy or difficult? Then the voice says that we are listening to a native Scottish English speaker and also uses a lot of idiom and English slang. What do you think will be easy or difficult for you? At minute 31 in another language in spoken. What language was that? Portuguese. What are the two rules for the fifth step? Rule number 1, do something every day. Rule number 2, do something different every day. What is the lesson plan they propose? What kind of class would you like to propose? A plan where you only had to follow the rules which are: rule number 1, do something every day. Rule number 2, do something different every day. If you do not have and do time, set aside the time you had per day. A good goal is between 50 and 20 minutes per day. This will do now to improve your English. in the second rule of doing something different every day. It must be done in order to increase vocabulary and to move forward. They explain applying to follow each day of the week, which will help to different things and learn more new things every day. Finally, they comment on where I can get the studying materials. It can be from the Google Shares engine or anyone else that I prefer. And I can choose my own listening materials and the schedule that works for me, and I also had to make a study plan and cross out what is being done day by day. The king of lesson plan I would like to propose involves the listening of multiple languages, multiple accents, has like looking for different study materials and practicing activities every day to further strengthen my pronunciation. How to fulfill your plan? Having the time, dedication, and practicing my English through daily listening materials, which will help me to develop my listening and pronunciation skills. Considering the video, where can you get material to practice English? I can find them in the Google search engine or any other of my choice.